Chapter 1, Mid-Chapter Review. Questions 1 and 2, we have to find the greatest common factor or the least common multiple. So we're going to look at number 1. Find the greatest common factor of 12 and 32. So 12 and 32, I'm going to use my pineapple upside down cake method. There's my layer of cake. I'm going to be using the numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11 to assist me. Notice that both 12 and 32 are even, so I can divide each by 2. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 16 is 32. Notice that they're both even again, so I know that 2 is a factor. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 is a prime number. It's over here in my list. So then, therefore, we are done factoring. So what is the greatest common factor? I take these two numbers out here. I multiply those together. The greatest common factor, 2 times 2 is 4. When I look at finding the least common multiple of 4 and 14, again, I write my 4 and my 14. I find what number goes into both 4 and 14. Well, 2 is a factor because they're both even. What can I multiply by 2 to get 4? That's 2. What can I multiply by 2 to get 14? That is 7. Notice that 7 and 2 are on my prime list over here, so I know I'm done factoring. So to find the least common multiple, again, think about the L, because these are the numbers that we want in our L. And with those numbers, we're going to multiply each one of those. So our least common multiple of 4 and 14 is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. Question number 3 and 4 says it's inviting you to write a ratio as a fraction in simplest form, then explain its meaning. So number 3, they want to know the ratio of cats to dogs. So cats to dogs, so I have cats over dogs, because I have to write it as a fraction. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cats. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs. So that's my ratio in simplest form. Now to explain that, I can say that for every 6 cats, there are 4 dogs. And if you use that sentence frame, that's going to help you. Well, look at number 4. There are 12 girls and 14 boys in the school band. What is the ratio of girls to boys? So we want girls first and then boys. So I have 12 girls to 14 boys. I want to put that in simplest form so I know each is even numbers, so I can divide each by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So there are 6 girls for every 7 boys. So if I have to explain that, I write using that sentence frame, for every 6 girls, there are 7 boys. So for every, there are. That's your sentence frame. Fill in your numerator and denominator below. Numbers 5 and 6, I want you to find the unit rate. So how much is 1 is what we're looking for here, 1. So number 5, $6 for 3 pounds of rice. So to set that up, I have $6 for 3 pounds. I want to know how much it is for 1 pound of rice. So what can I do to 3 to get 1? Well, since my number is getting smaller, I have to divide. And I divide by 3. I always divide by my denominator. So I do the same thing to the top. I divide it by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So it's $2 for 1 pound. Number 6 is 175 miles in 5 hours. So again, 175 miles in 5 hours. I want to know how far they can drive in 1 hour. So I go from 5 to 1, which means I divide by 5 because that's my denominator. So whatever I did to the bottom, I have to do the top. So I've got to divide the numerator as well. 5 goes into 17 3 times. That's 15 with 2 left over. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So they can go 35 miles in 1 hour. It says Chin bought 24 pounds of apples for $8. Use a ratio table to find the cost of buying 6 pounds of apples. So when I look, I want to see how much one. How many pounds of apples can I get for $1? That's a unit rate. So from 8 to 1, I'm dividing by 8. So whatever I do the bottom, I have to do the top. So I've got to divide 24 divided by 8, and that would be 3. So I can get 3 pounds of apples for $1. Well, how many pounds of apples? I have 6 pounds, so how much is that going to cost? Well, to go from 3 to 6, my numbers are getting larger, so I have to multiply. And I know 3 times 2 is 6. So then I do the same thing to my bottom number. I take 1 times 2 to get $2 for 6 pounds of apples. Number 8 says the table shows the amount of money Dawson earned for watching his neighbor's cat. Graph the ordered pairs, the number of days to the amount earned, then describe the pattern in the graph. So my number of days is going to be my X value. Amount earned is my Y. Okay, here's my X, here's my Y. So I'm going to have 0, 0. I'm going to have 1, 14. I'm going to have 2 and 28. And I'm going to have 3 and 42. So you have to show me those ordered pairs. Now I can go down here and graph. I start at 0, I move 0, so there it is right here. I go 1, 14, I start at 0, I go over 1, up to 14. I start at 0, I go over 2, and up to 28. And for the third one, I go start at 0, I go over to 3, and up to 42. So, in order to describe the pattern, again, for every 1 day, he earns $14. That's just simply telling you what is happening in the graph. Number 9 says Marcus receives dollar bills from his grandfather for 1 week. On the first day, he receives $2. On the second day, he receives 4. On the third day, he received 8. On the fourth day, he receives 16. If this continues, how much money will Marcus have by the end of the week? So after 1 day, he gets 2. 2 and the second day, he gets 4. The third day, he gets 8. The fourth day, he gets 16. Well, we know that there's 7 days in a week, so we got to know how much he earns. So if I start here at 2, I know that 2 times 2 is 4. And I know 4 times 2 is 8. And I know 8 times 2 is 16. So to find day 5, I have to multiply that number by 2. So 16 times 2 is 32. And on the 6th day, Grandpa is going to give him 32 times 2, which is 64. And on the 7th day, Grandpa is going to give him double that. So multiply 64 times 2, which is 128. So on the 7th day, he got $128. But that's not the answer to the question. The question is, how much money will he have by the end of the week? So here I have to add all these numbers together. And when I add all these numbers together, I get $254 is how much he received at the end of the week. Don't forget to study for your quiz. Go to McGraw-Hill in my Clever page and practice on those self-check quizzes. 5 questions in each quiz. Keep practicing until you get at least 80%. You guys rock. I know you can do this. Let's have a good day and do well on the test.